Alright, I rearranged some stuff in the shop. Got my little cart over here. A little more user-friendly for working in the bays. I got this ginormous truck on my lift. Freaking thing's heavy. My lift don't like it, but it lifts it. We're going to try to do wheel bearings, outer axle U-joints. Them U-joints in there, we're going to do those today. And wheel bearings, ball joints. This truck's got like 120,000 on it or something like that. So it's time to do some wheel bearings before they delay, and axle U-joints and ball joints on a Dodge. They like to take a hike, so you got to do them pretty often. Got the fire going in the shop, so it's pretty warm in here today. We'll get this thing done and get it out of the shop, hopefully first thing this morning. Alright, so I got the tire ripped off, I got the wheel bearing out, brake caliper off. Got her tore down this far so far. Gonna do the finish pulling it down here. I'm gonna show you how much this ball joint moves. I don't know if you can see that or if I'm just wiggling. But it moves quite a bit. So we'll get ball joints done. Axle U-joint. Axle U-joint actually looked way better than I thought it would. Brakes was real good, but we'll get this thing finished torn down. Got a whole pile of stuff here we've been getting off of it. Get this side done, then I'll go do the other. Okay, here's my setup that I got for this ball joint press. To push it back in. It should press right in. Got the new top put back in already, as you can see. It went in really easy, probably too easy, but maybe it's just the power of the Hercules. I doubt it. Definitely not the most powerful one I've ever used, that's for sure. And there, I got the bottom one in. It's in there and snap rings on it. And that one put up a lot more of a fight. I feel a lot better about how tight that one was going in. Now I'll get that dirty old sucker on there. And then I'll change that axle U-joint right there. I've commented on a few people's videos about how much easier it is to use a ball joint press to put U-joints in instead of hammering on them. Your chances of success on not getting your bearings all screwed up on it. When you push them in, when you're hammering, you tend to knock the needles out of them. But I'll show you how I like to do it. Alright, so this is my setup for doing ball joint press for U-joints. Then I can just push it out, push it inside of that cap right there. When I get it pushed up into there, then I can take it off, flip it over, push it back through the other way so that it just pops right out. Really easy to put them together this way too, because they'll just push them right back in. No hammering, no beating on them, no chance in losing the needle out of where they're supposed to be. Pretty easy. Works really well. Especially if you have a smaller U-joint, like a driveline U-joint. They're so much smaller, they work so much easier in this. These big heavy axle U-joints that are in a big giant front end like that is just really hard, because you almost need a bigger ball joint press than that to get that back in. So I got an American flag and Utah flag on the wall. Alright, so now I'm on the driver's side of the truck, obviously. And I got the tire off, took all the brake stuff off, obviously. Or I tried cutting off the end of my finger, so I had to make a M. Shaw coal miner band-aid. But it'll be alright. Might have to get stitches later, I don't know. And then I knock that loose and get these stupid caps off. And then I'll pull that off, go out and drop that in my driveway to my shop, knock the rotor off of the wheel bearing. And then I'll do ball joints on this side. Got my old boat there. Wish I could have took it to Lake Powell more this year. But we're making progress. Well, I sat her down on jack stands because I don't like leaving stuff sitting on my lift overnight. Just afraid it might fall off. Got the axles pulled, everything. Got ball joints going back in, done up. I gotta go to Price, get axle U-joints because the axle U-joint that they got me, that my customer provided, are obviously way too small. So I got to go over and get some more of those. So I'll go to Price in the morning, run over and go golfing, get some axle U-joints, and then come home and I will lift this up and finish up this. I'll show you how I put the U-joints back in with the ball joint press too. I think I might need to have to buy a new ball joint press. I impacted that one a little too much, I think. Kind of overdid her. The old Ultra Torque. Ain't the most powerful thing I've ever used, but it's got quite a bit. Kind of hurt it. So, had to go get my torches, bring them back from the farm. So, I will follow this up tomorrow. Alright, it's the next day. Ran over to Price today, got 2 different U-joints for this truck because neither one of the stores had 2 of them. There's 3 or 4 stores in Price. It's open on Sunday. So I had to end up going to 2 different stores, getting 2 different brands of U-joints for this axles. I'll get them put in. We was gonna go over and go golfing. It's mid-November, but it was snowing today and cold. So we didn't end up going golfing. We just went shopping, went to my favorite store, Hobo Freight, and got some stuff. And then we went to dinner, me and my girlfriend. And so now I'm going to start on this. Got a fire going in the fireplace, try to warm this joint up. So when I put them back in, I just put the ball joint press back on them and just press the caps back in. Nice and slow, easy, careful, gentle. They go right in. Get the clips in there. Got that clip in there, that clip in there, and I'll take the ball joint press back off. Wiggle the U-joint, make sure it's going to have a lot of good motion. I always get the greasable ones. Not strongest for rock crawling, but they're the best for longevity in regular vehicles because you can re-grease them. So how I've always done ones that are I can get in the ball joint press and push them right in, easy as could be. Alright, so when I get done pressing them together, they're a little bit snug. So I just take a hammer and hit them opposites of each other, like here and then here and over there, just to free it up a little bit, because they are a little snug when you first put them together. And so, because it's just collapsing it a touch too much, and then you beat it back just a tiny bit and then it frees up, gets real good. I put the Zert in that one, I'll grease it, and then this old truck will be headed back together. Alright, I got this side, the driver's side all put back together. Tire actually spins way easier than I did with the old wheel bearing in it. Quite surprising. And then sneak over yonder, over here. Got all my stuff ready to put this all back together. So I got this wheel bearing in. Axle U-joint in there. And I usually mark it. You can see the pink markings. I mark them so that I make sure I get the ears back the same way they was, just something that I do. Probably not necessary, but got that all buttoned up. To that point, I will finish tightening this all down and get it finished up and get it out of here.